Coming up now is our product of the week. Today we give you Finacle version 10, coming to you from the Computer Warehouse Group and Infosys. You will like this. The event was the launch of Finacle version 10 by the Computer Warehouse Group and Infosys. Speaking at the ceremony, which had in attendance top executive from the Nigerian financial sector, Sanat Rao, Vice President and Global Head, Client Services Finacle, said that the new version will enable banks to transform their multi-country operations through a standard platform and processes.
See, Finacle 10 is technologically a much more advanced solution, and we've invested a fair amount of effort in terms of developing some fairly cutting-edge functional and technology-related enhancements. It's a version that was under development for a while, and like I said, we've launched it sometime last year. And in Nigeria, I think it's very satisfying for us that a handful of banks are already on the verge of going live. So Wema Bank is going to be going live this weekend as we speak. And there are a few other banks, First Bank of Nigeria and a couple of others, who are in various stages of migration to version 10.
Group Managing Director of the Computer Warehouse Group, Mr. Austin Okere, speaks on Finacle version 10 and the impact it would have on the Nigerian financial landscape.
Today, precisely what we're doing is to host our financial sector customers, especially the banks, to an insight into Finacle 10. What does that mean? What is Finacle 10? Now, if you go into history lane, you realize that in year 2000, there was the Y2K bug. Of course, you were monitoring it on television for everybody. And so a lot of institutions, especially banks, were looking at retooling their technology and especially software. So in that year, we had met with Infosys, which is the developer of the Finacle core banking application. And in that year, we had 3 banks then: Comet Bank, STB, and Oceanic Bank, that standardized on this Finacle banking application. Since then, there's been several changes, both in the products and in the banking sector. And the product has grown with the requirements and demands of global banking. The last version of Finacle was Finacle 7, that is currently being used by 14 banks and financial institutions in Nigeria, specifically 9 banks and 5 other financial institutions. However, there is a much improved version of this core banking application called Finacle 10. And this is precisely what we are encouraging our customers to move on to. So far, Stanbic IBTC is on Finacle 10. Wema Bank is going to cut over to Finacle 10 by the weekend, and First Bank has commenced implementation of Finacle 10. Very soon, we believe that all our 14 customers will have migrated to Finacle 10 to benefit from the immense effectiveness, efficiency, and cost savings of moving to this platform.
We've been working with Computer Warehouse now for about 10 years. Like Austin Okere talked about earlier today, when they came to India many years ago to look at a partnership, I don't think they really knew what they were getting into. Right? We were, of course, a very different company. We were a much smaller company at that time. But to the credit of both the organizations, we've grown. The partnership itself has grown. And the fact that today we have a large number of very good customers in this market means that from a customer point of view, Computer Warehouse and Infosys are doing the right parts of our respective areas of responsibility to be able to keep the customers happy. So Computer Warehouse helps us essentially in 2 areas. They help us in client relationships, in getting new business, and they also are local implementation and support partner.
When a software vendor introduces a software into the market, the first version, say, is getting feedback from people that are using it in terms of what additional features they would like to see, what bugs are in the software, and all these are collated together and sent to the software developer, and as it corrects small versions of it. He releases versions. So you have version 7.1, version 7.26. These are minor corrections in the software. However, when there is a major change in the industry, as we're going more towards cashless banking and we're going more towards interest-free banking, IFRS, Basel II regulations, then the software vendor has to revamp the software totally to catch up with the innovation in the sector that it serves. So Finacle 10, and why it's not 7.2 or 9.2 is because it's a total revamp of the software to take advantage of the innovation that has happened in the banking sector. Otherwise, the industry is going to outgrow the software and they will move to another software. Finacle 10 is going to provide solutions for the 80% unbanked Nigerians. So the solution is trickling down from big banks to more retail-like. I think Finacle 10 is going to give you opportunity to seamlessly integrate interest-free banking. I think Finacle 10 is going to be stronger by way of security, because as banks are going more towards online and people are hitting the banking system from God knows where, not all with good intentions, security is a big issue. I think with the new global regulatory requirements in IFRS, in Basel II, we're now going to Basel III. These are the things which Finacle 10 will address. What we've seen with customers that have adopted Finacle 10 is that they've shut down maybe 20 applications which they had to support Finacle 7, because there are some things that they couldn't get in Finacle 7, then they'll buy one application, then they'll buy another application. But with Finacle 10, they shut down 20 applications, and therefore they don't need to incur the support cost of all those 20 applications, because all those things which they were doing in those applications is already in Finacle 10. Loan origination, treasury, all that. So I think it's really a deep value proposition, and the banks see it clearly, and for us it's satisfactory to us that we're able to bring this value to the banks.
Banks are very progressive. I think we've seen clear trends. There are banks who have a concentration in their local operations, and therefore they want to be strong, good institutions in Nigeria. There are also customers who have operations in multiple countries, and therefore when you talk to a UBA, for example, right, I think they're present in something like 19 or 20 countries globally, including places like the US and so on. And therefore these banks who are clearly offering services to Nigerians and to other customers in different parts of the world are in a position to be able to bring all of that under one roof, so to speak. Whether it's to help Nigerians who are based overseas and who want to make remittances to their family here, or when they travel back to Nigeria on a holiday or on a business trip, to be able to make banking services available for them here. Banks today are very, very aggressive and progressive in their leveraging of technology to be able to make such services available. So we believe that the environment is at a takeoff mode. The last 10 years have been exciting, but I think the next 10 years will be even more exciting.
Computer warehouse is in a ever-changing industry. The industry is always in transition, and this fits our profile because Computer Warehouse is a highly innovative company. We find that we innovate faster than our sector is changing. So we are not far behind. We started just like any other person, selling PCs and supporting PCs like any other person in Surulere. And there were so many of us in Surulere. But some people got comfortable in that place and never moved. When the market was moving to local area network, when the market was moving to wide area network, when the market was moving towards payless payment systems, cashless systems, cloud computing, they never moved. In Computer Warehouse, what we have done is that we continue to reinvest in the business, to rediscover ourselves, to ask ourselves very hard questions. With this business model, will we survive the next 5 years? Not only that, will we withstand the onslaught of foreign companies that are better funded than us, that are going to come and try and take our business? And if the answer is no, we have to go to the drawing board. So today, we've been through several iterations and innovative processes. And our focus is clear that the market is going to be a utility market. Very few people will buy all the computer requirements for their business. They would rather outsource. And we are clear that we want to be the #1 IT utility provider in Africa by 2015. What are the steps to do this? I mean, if I say that I want to be the #1 apartment renter in Lagos, first means I have to build apartments. It means I have to find money to build apartments. It means I have to have a view of who will rent these apartments. Am I building for low income, high income, medium income? And you have to ask all those questions in order to say, I have the most apartments I'm renting out in Lagos or in Nigeria or in Africa. So what does it take for us to be the #1 IT provider, IT utility provider? Is for us to have skills that customers that co-locate with us will depend on, for us to have a standard data center and a disaster recovery data center, for us to tie up with solution partners such as Infosys, such as Fundamo, such as Cisco, so that through their building blocks we put it together and offer the customer a one-stop shop. So I take mobile money for instance. We partnered with Fundamo and we put a mobile money platform down in our data center, and the banks and non-financial and other financial institutions are running mobile money from our platform. Same for microfinance banks. We put a platform down and they are running from it because they don't have the luxury of a lot of money to build their own IT departments. We believe that even those that have money, when they build their primary data center, they don't want to build a disaster recovery data center. They will rather co-locate their disaster recovery with somebody else, and we're preparing ourselves to be that somebody else. So the success of Computer Warehouse is that we always see a need, we feel burdened enough by that need, and then we do something about the conviction of meeting that need. You know, if you are in just for the money, then I think that you will probably look at a short-term view of success. If you are in for the value that you can deliver to the customer, how to alleviate that need, then in doing that you still make profit anyway. So we always put in front what is the need, what are the customer pain points, how can we alleviate that needs in a way that is effective and efficient and cost effective, and that is how Computer Warehouse has continued to innovate and be successful.
Wow, that was the product launch of Finacle version 10 coming to you from the Computer Warehouse Group and Infosys. Now, Finacle is already being used by over 9 banks in Nigeria, and other banks are already queuing up to sign up to this wonderful product. It's the most potent and most reliable e-banking solution in the world today, and if your bank is not using it, find out why.
Pick up the phone.